Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh Shai.
Barakatah Yahweh Shai.
All praises, honor, and glory be unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders at Great Millstone who taught us his truth and who rule well. Peace and love, salutation and mercy be unto you, hopeful elect Hakim, that are hazarding your lives to push his truth, to magnify the names of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, and to herald in the second coming of our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai. You know, in the kingdom of heaven, which is first his, and then the rest of the elect of the nation of Israel. And to the rest of you believers that also are part of the hopeful elect, you men, women, and children, are you Akim and Fiagwatim that believe in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai with their whole heart, mind, body, and spirit. And peace be unto you and Shalom. You know, Yahweh Shai is coming soon, but before he comes, these prophecies have to happen in the earth. And the major prophecy that is taking place right before your very eyes is the implementation of the MOTB system, in which the system is already set up, but they want to know how do they get everyone on the system. And when it came down to, you know, the 2020, you know, situation, that's what I'm going to call it. You know, you should know what happened in 2020. Basically, what they were doing was a trial run, you know, to see how things would go if they were to put such a system in place and how they need to go about it. So now they collected the data, they got the information, they know what they need to do this go around. And this go around, they know that people aren't going to willingly, you know, do it. So what they're going to have to do is put you in a snare. They're going to have to put you into a position where you feel as if there's no other choice but to receive their MOTB, you know, their Karak, you know, or their digital off. Now, the only ones that are not going to take it will be the elect. All right, only the elect will not take it. Now you have Captain Joel of the IUIC, who's basically, you know, vomiting up, you know, the same rhetoric that he learned from Bishop Nathaniel of the IUIC, you know, in regards to the MOTB. All right, which if you don't know, then that means that maybe you're from another planet, you know. But the MOTB is the RFID chip in the brain implant, and it's nothing else. Now, he was saying things within that video that he did in regards to, you know, making references to the MOTB being Christianity. And it does not make sense when you thoroughly investigate the scriptures, when you thoroughly count, you know, or reckon according to the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding through the Holy Spirit, which he accused us here at Great Millstone, beginning with the apostles and elders, of not having the Holy Spirit to be able to discern the scriptures. But really, it's vice versa. You know, it's the other way around. You know, which if you went into the actual words within the Greek, things will begin to make more sense. Now, I'm here doing the in-transit with the beloved brother,
Sure.
you know, and we're of the Great Millstone Detroit body. You know, we're going to go into, you know, Revelation, the 13th chapter, beginning at verse 15. Which, if you could read that, Baba Kasha, and grab it in the blue letter, because we're going to look up some words.
This is Revelation 13, verse 15. It says, it says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Now,
they push the idea that the image of the beast is an actual image of Cesare Borgia, you know, which is hella off. All right, like Apostle Tahar said, ain't no pictures of Cesare Borgia out there talking, you know, which Cesare Borgia is the person that the image that you see now today that they push on the world as being Christ, or that has been pushed on the world as being Christ, you know, that's not the image of the beast. All right, the image of the beast is this system that they set up that's based upon ancient Rome. All right, the image isn't an actual image. You or it's not the media, it's not the TV. Like Apostle Tahar said as well, when you turn on the TV, ain't no pictures of Cesare Borgia coming up on our TVs, man. Speaking to us, worship me. All right, that's not going on. So this image that is set up is this system that is based upon ancient Rome. Now, when you go into the word image, I want you to go into the word image and give the word there that's in Greek.
It says iconic.
Yeah, where you get the word icon.
The icon.
Icon, and that's where you get the word icon. Mm-hmm. Now, an icon doesn't necessarily have to be, a app that's on the front of your desktop, on the front of your phone. It doesn't have to be an actual image of a person. You have people that are called icons. Oh, this is my icon. Why do you call it your icon? Because you what'd you say?
You look up to.
You look up to that person. Mm-hmm. So you try to reflect that person, their way of thought, their mannerism, all right, the way that they carry themselves, the way that they speak. All right, that's somebody that you can look at as worthy of being imitated. And that's what's happening with this whole Roman system that is set in place today. All right, this country and the rulership that they hold throughout the world is imitating that Roman system of ancient Rome. All right, this neo-Roman system is imitating that system of ancient Rome. Now, when you go down to the Strong's definition, what does it say?
This is a likeness.
A likeness. Go ahead.
Statue.
All right.
Profile.
Oh, profile. What is a profile?
Yeah.
Can you define the word profile, Baba Kashan?
Yeah. It says this is an outline of something, especially a person's face, as seen from one side. It's just an outline of something.
Yeah, but you, let's say for instance, you got a social media account.
It says describe.
Exactly. So you have a part within that account that gives you a description. Yeah. And it's not an actual picture of your face. Although your face could be a part of your profile, you have a part where you describe yourself. Oh, I'm 6 foot 5. Dark skin, hazel eyes. Right. So this place is imitating the profile of ancient Rome. Keep going.
It says, represent an outline of from one side. That's pretty much it.
Kind of go back to the Strong's definition.
Yeah, it says figuratively representation, resemblance.
Resemblance. When you look at the major government buildings, and other buildings within this place, what do they look like?
You got the pillars.
It looks like Rome.
Yep.
Matter of fact, I believe it was one of the apostles that brought it out, but Washington, D.C., before it was called Washington, D.C., it was called Rome. All right, the river that runs through that joint, reminded them of the Tiber. All right? Which, if I'm not mistaken, is named after Tiberius Caesar. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. But anyways, this place is set up to resemble ancient Rome, and not only the physical aspects of it, all right, but the legislation, all right, the laws. So the image that's set up, all right, to the beast is set up to imitate Rome. So you have the legislative body, all right. You have you have the Senate that speaks through Congress. So they form certain laws, not only for people to follow here, but to follow all throughout the world, where their empire is spread throughout all the world, because right now it's given to them to rule over the planet Earth. Now, this particular empire that's set up, because he brought out how when they first came over here, the conquistadors pushed Christianity. And speaking of Captain Joel, how they pushed Christianity in that image on the natives that were here. All right, But after the 13 colonies was formed and America grew into what it grew now, all right, they got out of that Christianity vibration. When you look at the legislative body right now, or when you look at the governments, the legislative, the executive, the judicial, it ain't nothing but a bunch of fucking moles up in there right now.
Yeah.
All right, when you go from the president on down to the vice president, to the Senate members, to the legislator, to the governors, the senators, the mayors of cities, the governors of cities, the council members, even the sheriffs, and even in the military, they're pushing an anti-Messiah vibration. All right, they're going against Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right, they're pushing a lifestyle that's an abomination. They're not pushing Christianity. When you look at the governing body of America, and you look at all of these different alphabet people that are within the government, are they pushing Christianity? Hell no, they not. Basically, they're trying to get you as far away from a biblical thought as possible. And one of the reasons why, they want you to take that MOTB.
Right.
So they can have you in the frame of mind when you're thinking of the scriptures. They're trying to take you as far away from that as possible. Now, this is something I saw on Wikipedia, and this says a list of alphabet members of the United States Congress. And if you can read that, Baba Kashai, the part that's highlighted in purple, and be mindful of the algorithm.
Yep.
You know, so
I got you.
Yep.
It says, as of March 2021, 26 members of the alphabet community are known to have held office in the U.S. Congress.
See? They held office where?
In the U.S. Congress.
In the U.S. Congress.
Mm-hmm.
So the image of the beast is the Senate that speaks through the Congress. So I may have it wrong, or the Congress that speaks through the Senate. You know, Salakia, you know, if I got it wrong. But pretty much, they're helping to write certain laws.
And forward that.
And forward a certain agenda.
Mm-hmm.
All right, which is an abomination.
That's right.
So how in the hell can you say that this place is going around pushing Christianity? They're not pushing Christianity. All right, they're trying to take people as far away from the Bible as possible. Is it any more on that?
Yep. It says, in the House, 25 alphabet people held office.
See?
In the Senate, 3.
In the Senate, 3.
Yeah.
So you think that they're gonna allow legislation to come through that thing that goes against their agenda?
Mm-mm.
No. So therefore, how could Christianity be the MOTB when this place isn't even pushing that Christianity?
It says 2 people, Tammy Baldwin and Kristen Sinema, served in the House and were later elected into the Senate.
God. Now going from here and going to this article from the Washington Post, and read a little bit of that, beginning with the title.
It says 11 openly alphabet lawmakers will take their seats in the next Congress.
See?
That's a record.
So you have the Congress that speaks through the Senate.
Mm-hmm.
All right? And you have a bunch of moles that are up in there. So they're not pushing the Bible. They're not pushing Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
All right? Although Christianity is off, they don't want anything to do with that. They want to take your mind as far away from that as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
It says that's a record in both numbers and diversity. It says when the 117th Congress convenes January 3rd, fully 11 openly alphabet members, a record, will take their seat. You know, what's more, they will be the most diverse members of Congress the county has yet seen, with more people of color than before.
God. And they like to use Jake's face when they promote certain things like this. And that's the reason why the scriptures say that the shoe of their countenance is as Sodom. You know? And they hide it not. Because they're not ashamed of this, in which they should be. And that's the reason why they have a penalty and a judgment that's going to come from on high from Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So, the legislative, the executive, and the judicial branch of government are all filled with moles. All right? Now, the U.S. Army as well, because he mentioned that pretty much how the army is going around, or something along the lines of that, you know, is basically they're using their military to go around pushing this. No, they're not. You know, even when they went and fought against Afghanistan, all right, you got even though the Taliban is set up by them, you know, through their CIA, through their FBI, all right, they're still practicing Islam. They're still Muslims. All right, they're still Islamic. All right, you got Islamic countries that are out there that are still able to buy and sell. Because you also push that when you go to Revelation, the 13th chapter, verse 16, that's dealing with nations. And that it's not dealing with a single individual. It's dealing with a single individual. But let's say, for instance, just entertaining, you know, the thought of what you said, if it was dealing with nations, well, wait, you got Hinduism out there. You got Buddhism. You got Judaism. All right, you got people that are into all of these different countries that are into all of these different religions that are still able to buy and sell. Hell, we're Hebrew Israelites. We don't believe in Christianity. So how are we still able to buy and sell? See, when you thoroughly observe this, the things that come out of their mouth, it don't make sense. But you mentioned that the U.S. Army, you know, is or something along the lines of that. You know, if I'm quoting you wrong, and you can come back and say that I'm quoting you wrong. But it's spreading Christianity. Now, when you go into the army, there's a lot of diversity within the army too when it comes down to sexuality. All right, or preferences. So you got a lot of alphabet people inside of the U.S. Army as well. And here's an article on that. Baba Kashav, you can read that.
Yep. It says top civilian commander at U.S. Air Base led child sex abuse ring.
And when you go into the article, he was abusing his adopted sons that he adopted. Not adopted daughters, but adopted sons. So what did that tell you? You got pedos up in there too. All right, you got people that love children that are up in the U.S. military, aside from, you know, the men that like to put on women's clothing and the women that like to put on men's clothing, you know, or men that prefer someone that is the same as them.
Orientation.
Yeah. So how can you say that they're pushing that around the world? When they when they go in to fight against nations, they're not trying to convert those nations into Christians. They want the resources of the place. They want to take over the government so that they can control the country, so that they can maintain those resources. But they're not pushing Christianity on them. They cause them to adopt this kind of behavior.
Right.
All right, which is that alphabet behavior, as well as other legislations, as well as other laws. But it's not dealing with Christianity. And
if I may say something real fast, they're adding that into that whole group, that being peas, right? And dealing with children, and saying that is it's natural, right? There is no age. So, like the brothers going into, they want all type of perverseness. They want all type of anti-Messiah behavior going on in these last days. That's it.
Kind. And it's not just this particular movement, you know, that they're pushing around the world. You know, there's other laws as well. You know, or women's rights. You know, as well as other things also. So, given just basically bringing this out to prove that this government, or this system that's ruling over the whole world doesn't want anything to do with Christianity. They don't want anything to do with the Bible. All right, they're trying to take that away. All right, but Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai has caused them to do certain things that limit them from being able to completely do that. And that was for our sakes, so that we can continue to push this gospel and this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, lifting up the names of Yahweh and Yahushai. For an example, the United States of America doesn't have an official religion. All right, you can look it up. Christianity isn't the official religion of the United States of America. So this isn't like Spain, when you go back, with Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand, when they were going around conquering in the name of Christianity, when they slaughtered and killed people in the name of Christianity. All right? There's no official religion of the United States of America. So this is coming from the ACLU.org. And it says the establishment clause of the First Amendment prohibits government from encouraging or promoting establishing religion in any way. Wait, so that the Constitution stops them from promoting or establishing religion in any way? So they can't push religion. All right? Why do you think that there's a separation from church and state?
Right.
All right? Even though they came up with the 501c3, which IUIC has one, which is a gag order. I believe that was Lyndon Baines Johnson that came up with that. All right, although they came up with that, guess what? They still can't push religion. Now, with that gag order, since I mentioned it, it stops you from being able to, if you have it, it stops you from being able to say certain things. So you can't speak out against political agendas. You can't speak out against the modes. You can't speak out against the government establishing the MOTB system. There's certain things you can't say. Reading on, it says, that's why we don't have an official religion of the United States. This means that the government may not give financial support to any religion. So there's no official religion of the United States of America. When they go around conquering nations, they force them to follow their laws. All right, to bow down and worship the image of the beast. All right, to accept certain legislation. All right, certain democracies. All right, they're not making people follow Christianity. All right, they're forcing people to become moles. All right, to push certain women's rights legislation. So here, all right, aren't we Hebrew Israelites? But we're still able to buy and sell. Other people that live, in America and abroad that practice different religions, they're still able to buy and sell. So how can Christianity be the MOTB? Right. It doesn't make sense. So going back to Revelation, the 13th chapter, and this time verse 16.
Revelation 13 and 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
See? It says to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Now, what is the word mark? When you go into the word mark, the word there is charagma, which means an inserted thing or a thing inserted. Because what are they trying to do?
Trying to own you.
They're trying to take total control over the people. And they're going to do it through coercion. They're going to strip away your liberties. They're going to strip away your freedom. They're going to strip away your rights. They're going to strip away your ability to go and get food. They're going to make it to where you feel like you have no choice. In order to live, in order to survive, in order to get by, you will have to receive their digital all. They're going away from paper currency, all right, or the fiat currency, to digital currency. And when they implement this digital currency, the digital currency will not be, in a physical or tangible form, to where you count out 100, dollar bills, or you're counting out coinage. Otherwise, why would they call it digital currency?
Right.
All right, it's digital. So it's going to be on a computer. But how do you get access to it? In order for you to get access to it, guess what? You're not going to be using your cell phone. You're not going to be using, your cell phone to buy or sell. You're going to be using, MOTB, a chip that they put inside of you, the RFID chip that they put inside of you, to be able to buy, to be able to sell. And that's how they're going to have complete control over you. When you go into the root word of charagma, the word there is charax, which means to stick or to prick, or etching. So they'll use a particular instrument to drive in that charagma. But inside of that charagma, you have information on it. So the root word of charax is graphel, because inside of that, it has information. And with that information through the internet, it connects to their system. All right, that will be how can you say it will be a one world system? All right, it will be a one world centralized system, to where it's completely integrated all around the world. Everybody will be on that same system. So there's no way that you can make money off the books. There's no way that you can cheat the system. There's no way that you can commit fraud. There's no way that you could get money on the low without them knowing. There's no way that you can do tax evasion. There's no way that you could go against the system, because if you go against it, then they'll just shut it right off. So this isn't Christianity. All right, because if the MOTB was Christianity, then how are people still? You got Muslims inside of America that own shops. They own bodegas. They own liquor stores. They own gas stations. They own grocery stores. They own markets. They own businesses. Health businesses. They're working in the hospitals, as well as people that are into Buddhism, as well as people that are into any other religion. So how in the hell are they still buying and selling? They're not worshiping Cesare Borgia. They're not bowing down to the image of the beast in that regard, but they're bowing down to the image of the beast in the regard of following the ways of America and accepting their laws. Even though they still practice their religion, they still follow the laws of America, which a lot of them are based off of ancient Rome. The whole system itself. All right, given the Senate, all right, the Senate body, the Congress, the president, all right, this form of government is based off of ancient Rome. Now this system is forcing people to receive an actual thing inside of them, and that's the MOTB. Go ahead.
It says, "And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name."
Now, did it say nation? No, it said man, that no man may buy or sell. All right, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of the beast. Now, when you go into the number of the beast, what is the number of the beast? Chi stigma.
Right.
All right, which within that you have the chi or the chi, which looks like an X. You have the xi. All right, and then you have the stigma, which if I'm not mistaken, the stigma is a compound word, if I'm not mistaken, but I believe that it's the sigma and the tau put together to make stigma. All right, and it's also used for the number 6. But when you go into a stigma, all right, and you go to Galatians, the 6th chapter, verse 17, is used there within Galatians 6 and 17 for the word mark. And when you go into it, it's basically describing it as, a person that receives, some kind of branding or some kind of mark for recognition of ownership. Go ahead.
This is a stigma. It says a mark pricked in or branded upon the body. It says to ancient Oriental usage, slaves and soldiers bore the name or the stamp of their master or commander, branded or pricked a cut into their bodies.
God. And what is it? What is that done for? To indicate recognition of ownership.
Mm-hmm.
That you belong to somebody, that they own you. And this is what the elites want to do unto the whole world for ownership. So that's not through Christianity, because the small hats that rule over the earth, they don't even believe in Christianity. And these are the ones that are part of the banking, that own the banking institutions. These are the ones that own the Federal Reserve, which is through the Federal Reserve, they're going to come up with the CBDC, a central bank digital currency, which is going to be a one world currency for people to use all around the world. They don't believe in the Messiah. So how can you say that the image that they're pushing, the image created to the beast, is an image of Cesare Borgia, and the MOTB, you want to say that that's Christianity? It doesn't make sense. But what makes sense is for them to put something inside of you for you to use to where you can't buy or sell unless you have it. And that time is the time that we're living in. Let's end it off on Revelation 3:10. All right, now you want to grab that? The brother, we just picked up a brother. He got in the car. So we're going to let him get in there too.
Revelations 3:10. Revelations 3:10. And because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, and try them that dwell upon the earth.
Yeah, they're not going to go around killing people because they don't want to convert to Christianity. They're not going to shut you off from the system because you don't want to convert to Christianity. You're not about to go to a market and they're going to say, well, no, we can't sell you food because you're not a Christian. And then how would they know who's a Christian or not? There has to be a mark, a physical mark. And what would that physical mark be? It would be the MOTB, the RFID chip and the brain implant. Okay. So the hour of temptation is going to be when you're coerced. They're trying to coerce you, all right, through violence to receive the MOTB. All right, they're shutting you out from the society. They're not allowing you to buy or sell. All right, unless you receive the actual physical mark that they want to give you. You know, so with that, we hope that this lesson was edifying. All praises, honor, and glory be unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, and Kakodash. A double honors to our apostles and elders at Great Millstone who taught us his truth and who rule. Peace and love, salutation, and mercy be unto the hopeful elect. A shalom and a bad babal. Kwam Barkayam.